In this video, we're gonna be talking about Herobrine, one of Minecraft's most iconic myths. Thousands of people have claimed to have seen him. So in this video, we're gonna be dissecting the origin of Herobrine, as well as why a myth brought a community together. Hi everybody, welcome back to the first video of 2023 by me, Astrei. Before we begin discussing today's topic, I'd like to put you guys in a certain mood. The year is 2010. You were still very young and you're finally on your school break. As usual, you're playing Minecraft in a new world. You've grown accustomed to the vibes of classic Minecraft. You know, the lack of features and the immense fog. But something feels off. It is nighttime and you can't see anything. While you're sprinting to find somewhere safe, you see it. In the corner of your eye, you get a glimpse of something or someone staring back to you. This freaks you out. You have read a couple of posts and watched a couple of videos mentioning someone called Herobrine. This entity is hidden deep inside of Minecraft's code, and this might be your first time seeing him. You get back home, close the doors, and finally shut the game down, as the pressure is too much. How is it possible for you to not be alone in a single-player world? Your heart is racing. You turn the computer off, and as the brightness of the screen is fading out, you try to calm down, as you were very shocked to see that this experience that was supposedly only a hoax happened to you. You're now sitting in silence, alone in the dark. As humans, we naturally fear the unknown, but I feel that some people overlook that the unknown is only scary because of ignorance. Ignorance is horror's best friend, and in the early 2010s, when most of us were still young, Minecraft was still only being developed by a single guy. We currently know that Herobrine wasn't real, but there was a time that people my age were a lot more innocent, as well as not being too tech savvy to know what Minecraft's code represents, so this was entirely possible. I now want to talk about the origin of Herobrine, and I know this has already been said a million times, but I have to briefly mention it as I feel the video would feel incomplete if I simply ignore it. Anyway, did you know that 96% of my audience isn't subscribed? And I know this is a very annoying YouTuber thing, but if you like my video, please consider subscribing, as it is the best way to support this channel. The very first post mentioning Herobrine as well as a sighting was on 4chan's paranormal board X in a now deleted post of August 19, 2012. OP explains that they were playing on a single-player world where they began to notice unnatural creations, such as 2x2 tunnels, trees that had their leaves removed, as well as pyramids in the ocean. Finally, the player sees it. Enveloped by fog, they notice a nameless human entity resembling Steve, but with white eyes. This player, Herobrine, sends them a private message telling them to stop. The player decides to snoop around and asks in various Minecraft forums if they have experienced something like this, and someone mentioned that they have. Apparently, this Herobrine person is Notch's brother, so naturally, OP decides to ask Notch himself if this statement is true. Notch mentions that he used to have a brother, but not anymore. The community was obviously impressed by this post, so they shared it, and some people even went further and decided to feed into the myth. A YouTuber by the name of Copeland made a fake hoax stream to troll their audience into believing that Herobrine was real. Sadly, the original livestream is lost, but as you can see, here's a recreation of the event. Apparently Copeland was so scared they decided to delete the world to never meet Herobrine again. The next big hoax was by streamer Patimus, who showed a lava pool where Herobrine was standing. The transmission then cuts and he is nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, in the chat, Copeland used to post links to a website showing this GIF. The site and the GIF are commonly referred to as him. Eventually, both Copeland and Patimus would come out saying that all of this was a hoax and they were trolling. Notch also had to clarify that he didn't actually have a brother or that he implemented Herobrine into the game. But here's where the story gets good. Yes, although this story started as a shitty post, I really like that it became a staple of the community, as Notch himself endorsed it. In the next update, the patch notes would reveal that Herobrine was removed, implying that he was actually inside of the game in the first place. From my younger self's perspective, this was absolutely terrifying, but now I think this is a very nice move from Mojang, as they also started implementing Herobrine into their official artwork. This made Herobrine a semi-canon character, and this only made the myth grow. This era of Minecraft was truly magical. I remember seeing lots of people in forums discussing their personal encounters with Herobrine. I guess the community came together against one common enemy. This might sound stupid, but it's very heartwarming remembering a time where Minecraft wasn't owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. It was just some guy making a game that might or might not fail. At this point, anything the community wanted would be added onto the game, because there was a clearer communication. I love legends in video games, but there's one in particular I'd like to talk about. This myth is really close to my heart as it comes from my childhood, which is Club Penguin. Basically, in the old days of the site, the developers added some animations involving shadows, which didn't really have any purpose or intent, but for some reason the kids who played the game thought they were ninjas, and they decided to talk about it in forums and ask directly to the devs. At some point there was so much hype regarding ninjas in the game that the developers decided to add it as an official location, which was the dojo. It stopped being a hidden location in the map and it became a real feature involving minigames, unlockable items, and more. Sadly, we live in a time where this isn't possible anymore. I feel that a game needs to be very niche in order to accomplish this, as every day people are becoming a lot more tech savvy or have bigger audiences where they can disprove myths like Herobrine's. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, as misinformation can really harm a community and its game, but I do feel that people and the internet itself has evolved to a point where we need lots of proof to make claims like this ones. In fact, I'd say the only legends and myths in gaming that are left are those involving the lore, instead of rumors involving secret game mechanics or characters. A secret in a game has to be purposefully added by the devs instead of something that the community can create. And when the devs are the ones creating the myths, they sadly don't stay hidden for much time. Let's take for example The Binding of Isaac Rebirth's Lost. The creator of Isaac, Edmund Macmillan, has mentioned that he thought that the Lost would be found in years from the game's launch, but the secret character was actually found 109 hours after release. He was obviously annoyed by this, so in later years he made an ARG involving a character named The Keeper, so data miners wouldn't have an easy time uncovering a mystery. Sometimes the problem isn't even data miners, sometimes it's the people promoting the game itself. Like, for example, I remember when Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon released, that Ultra Necrozma, the final boss of the game, was spoiled in the trailers, or YouTubers who get the game early to promote it spoil really important features for views. Which, I get it, it's their job and it's the normal thing to do, but it becomes less mystical and it becomes a lot more planned. People express with fondness myths in Pokemon such as Mew being hidden inside a truck or the Pokegods. But at this time there's no room for ignorance or playground myths. If there is a secret in the game, it will be found by data miners, spoiled by the company itself, or found by the people who got the game pre-launch. So like, what's the point anymore? But now I want to mention, why did people even believe that Herobrine was real in the first place? This story is very obviously a hoax, and Notch himself said it wasn't real, so why did so many people believe it was real? And here's my take on it. I think people thought it was real because they wanted it to be real. We as humans tend to find patterns where there are none. So, if you get suggested into believing that there is an entity inside of your game, you will start connecting dots where there are none. Such as, if I start making tunnels and forget about them, if I chop down a tree halfway, if the random world generation accidentally creates something that resembles a cross or a pyramid, you will think that all of these were made by Herobrine, because you think it was made by Herobrine. My personal experience with Herobrine is very similar to this one. As I mentioned in this video, my cousins were the ones who introduced me to Minecraft, especially the light edition of the iPad. This was like my fourth or third time playing the game, and I remember that I tried making an underground base in the beach. And as you guys know, sand has gravity physics, but I didn't really know it at the time. So when I was making my base, I noticed that the ceiling was falling and that my base was breaking apart. I showed it to my cousins and we were all scared because we already knew about Herobrine at that point. We were absolutely horrified because we did think that Herobrine was messing with our game, but it simply was ignorance. And weirdly, that ignorance made my Minecraft experience a lot more memorable and special. And finally, I want to talk about the future of Minecraft involving Herobrine. I'm pretty vocal about my feelings regarding Microsoft. I don't like them. They have been reworking a lot of aspects of the game that don't really need overhauls, but they still do it anyway. But I feel that one of the updates I'd love to see would be that Herobrine gets finally added into the game. I know this sounds like a stretch, but hold on. Minecraft has a couple of bosses, and I feel that in the very last Minecraft update, once Microsoft decides to kill the game off, they could add a Herobrine boss. It's obviously not gonna be something gory or scary. This would bring together the whole community and the game aspect and create something unique. You know, since Herobrine is just Steve with white eyes, maybe it could even recontextualize the credits of the game, where it is finally revealed that the voices could be Steve and Herobrine. Maybe one of them represents creation and the other one represents destruction, and how both are necessary for a healthy Minecraft experience. And yeah, this is just me rambling, but you know, this is probably what younger me would have loved. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. This was my first video of the year and it was all over the place, but I tried my best. If you like this video, please remember to leave a like, subscribe and share, because it really helps the channel out. But anyways, if you have any ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.